Jace, can you talk a little bit about, your coach has a lot of confidence in himself, and he seems to have a lot of confidence in the team. Can you talk about how that affects the team?
Since day one, he came in here telling us that he came back to win a championship, and I think right when he told us that, I think it really opened up everybody's eyes, and it just showed how much he cares about being here, and shows how much confidence he has in us, and even before the season, he knew how good we could be, and we're on the right track, and it's just really helped us out a lot this season.
Jace, coach said that that year to year it doesn't matter, but you being a big part of that 2011 team, a lot of the core of this team being a part of that. Do you all look back at that all and remember what that feeling was like beating them at their stadium?
Yeah, it was a great win, and it's a totally different team now. We have a bunch of new players on there. Some players haven't even been up there to Norman, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's a great stadium, and they're a great team, and it's one of the funnest places to play. And it's going to be a great experience, and I know that it helps us out a lot because we know that we can win up there since we did it already a couple years ago, and it just helps build our confidence up a little more.
What was the difference between the game in Norman and last year's game?
I just think that we came in thinking we were better than them against last year at least, and we came in the year before knowing that we could upset them, and I think we just played with a little bit more chip on our shoulder, and then we played a little more relaxed last season, but it's kind of hard to tell. So.
You guys talk about just the implications that a win at a place like that would mean in terms of the Big 12 race and how important this game would be?
Yeah, every game is important. If we lose last week, it wouldn't have mattered anyways, and every game is important. We're just trying to go 1-0 every single week, and we're going to take it like we played every single game this season. We're not changing anything up in practice. We're not changing up any way we prepare for any team, and that's just the way that's really helped us out a lot this season. We prepare for every opponent the same exact way. It doesn't matter who we're playing, and it helps our minds stay level and not get too high or get too low.
Does this positivity, you feel it's infectious?
Yeah, definitely. He helps us out a lot. He likes to put a lot of bulletin stuff on there, and he tells us every day how many times people are doubting us. That we have something to prove every single day in practice and walkthroughs and meetings, and it just helps everyone focus a little more than what we should, and just makes everyone a little bit more mad and angry that people did pick us 10th, 9th, 8th in the Big 12, and right now we're sitting number 1, and that's where we wanted to be, and that's where we plan on staying. So.
Favorite post that he's put up?
I think when he talks about game day predictions like that and stuff, and he tells us before the game how many people are telling us that we're not going to win this game, and I think the past 3 weeks they've had us on upset alert, and it just really helps us pull through on those times when we're struggling through the game.
So he sort of puts a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think Cliff takes it personally, or he's just trying to motivate you guys?
I know he takes it personally. You can tell by the way he tells us, and you can see it in his eyes that he gets mad, like if he's actually a player, if he's a player with us, and he just brings a lot of fire and energy to our team, and I know it means a lot to him, just like it means a lot to all of us.
And as a player, Coach Somerville last year, Coach Kingsbury this year, he seems like he's closer to your age and one of the guys. How much does that help you as a player, having him down on your level, kind of?
Like I said, it just makes him almost like another player on our team, and he's a great leader for us, and like I said, he brings a lot of fire to our team and a lot of energy, and it just helps us, because we know he's been there, just a couple of years ago, and he knows, he knows how hard it is out here, and he knows how hard practice is and stuff like that, and he really takes care of us, and it just helps us relax a little more than what we could have last year.
Jace, what have you noticed about the Oklahoma defense? What did they do well?
They play a lot of man, a lot of one high man, try to take away the middle of the field. So we'll see, how every single team has changed their coverages up from what they've shown to what they do when we play them. And I'm sure they're going to change it up too. And we'll just adjust off the run. So.
Jace, just talking about you a little bit, just the ability to drag players, 5, 10 yards extra after the catch. Kind of talk about what does that do to the team and you personally?
I just kind of took it, to heart last game and I know we were down 27-16 or something like that, and yeah, I got a little nervous because I knew if we didn't score on that drive or one of the drives that was really crucial, it was going to be really tough to come back and win that game. And I just told myself we're not going to lose this game. I want to make sure that I do everything I can to win this game. And I got hit pretty hard on that one play, and I know it was a little bit of a momentum swing, and I just told myself I'm going to make sure we win.
How much growth have you seen from Davis starting these last 2 games?
He does a great job of not getting rattled. He's been the guy that's in the TCU game that when we really needed him to come in and seal the game for us. He's taking down the ball down the field every single time. Against Iowa State he did it. Against last week he did it. Against CCU he had the game-winning touchdown. So he does a great job of really staying composed and controlling the game and controlling our line of scrimmage, and that's one thing that has really caught my eye of what he does personally.
Was there a specific turnaround to the game on Saturday where you can kind of point to and said, okay, this is where you knew that you were going to be in a position to win, or was it just the fear factor of, I don't want to lose?
I think it was more of the fear factor that we didn't want to lose, and like I said, I think a lot of us and a lot of the seniors, really took it up that, if we lost that game, all the things that we had done before that wouldn't have mattered, and we were going to make sure that we win, and a lot of guys stepped up.
Did you feed off the defense too, because they had stop after stop after stop?
Absolutely. The defense played great all year. They bailed us out almost every single game this season, and it's really helped us out a lot that we know that we have one of the best defenses in the conference, and that we don't have to score every single drive. We just need to make sure we control the game because we know that they're going to help us out.
Jace, you weren't play action passing for the run play so effectively on Saturday. You think so because it's something Davis does well, or is that something Cleve's really does?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think Davis does a great job of selling the run, and then Coach Kingsbury really sets up those plays very well, and it helps us out a lot because our running game is really picking up, and the play action passes really open the field up for us. Not just for me, but for Bradley and for Eric, and it just helps out that the running backs are doing a great job too.
Speaking of chip on the shoulder, or maybe extra motivation, does it motivate you not being on the Mackey list when you had said at the start of the year that you wanted to win that?
I mean, yeah, of course it does. I know what kind of player I am, and I'm not sure why I'm not on it, but I know that these guys in this building and the media and everyone else has a plan for me, and I'm just going to keep on playing the way I've been playing all season long, and I'm not really going to worry about it because I know in the end it's all going to work out.
Hey, Kerry. How you doing? Good. Can you talk about how Coach Kingsbury's confidence in himself personally and in his team really carries over and feeds you guys with the same kind of confidence that it infects you?
Well, definitely. He brings, like Jace was saying, bringing new energy to the team, the university, and the community so far since he's been here. And that fire he brings, that confidence, and it rubs off on the entire team. And we want to, we are as our leader is. We reflect his attitude and we try to portray that on the field.
Kerry, just back to 2011, what was that feeling like, beating them on their home field like that? Is that something you guys draw on as a core of this team going back up there?
It was definitely a big win that year, but as you remember, we didn't finish too hot after that, So we take it one week at a time, and we're definitely looking forward to the challenge of going up there and getting a win. We know it's a tough environment. That's why this past week was so crucial for us, being able to get a road win like that. So we definitely got some confidence, brewing, and we want to go in there and get a win.
What changed for you all on Saturday? I mean, they were moving the ball up and down the field, and all of a sudden, just nothing. Of course, through the whole fourth quarter and halfway through the third. What was the difference?
They made adjustments. We made adjustments, and we came together as a defense, and we said no more. That hasn't been our makeup this year. People have been able to move the big field on us. So going into the second part of the game, we just we put our foot down. We was tired of giving up them yards, and we just had to, make plays because the offense was moving the ball, and this was the first time we wasn't able to stop them, constantly. So after we finally got it together, we, was able to stop them,
Have you heard anything about Coach Kingsbury's old team in 2002 and 2008 that a chance to win the conference that year and then just things didn't work out in the moment?
No, I haven't heard too much about it, but I do remember that year when they lost. I was getting recruited that year, and I was committed, and I was trying to get that win too. So looking back on it, we definitely want to not go back on that and try to change history this time.
Do you remember, did you watch that game on TV?
I watched it on TV. Definitely hurt. I definitely want us to get that win back then, and it was a tough loss for everyone involved.
So as a leader, you can look at West Virginia and then tell your players, hey, what to expect in Oklahoma. Kind of talk about what you kind of tell your defense.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. They're gonna be quiet when they're on the field. When we're on the field, they're gonna be extremely rowdy for the offense. And going on the road, you got to play good defense and good special teams and stuff like that. So we're definitely gonna try to press them this week, and I'm trying to tell the guys that it's gonna be a tough environment. It's gonna be crowd's gonna be rowdy, but we gotta be the rock. We gotta play good on defense because the offense, if they can't get going or whatever, defense, we gotta be there to be that safety net.
Does the experience of your coach and the experience of Stoops, how do you see that? Stoops has been doing this for years. This is Cliff's first year as a head coach. How do you think that matches up this week?
No disrespect to Coach Stoops, but I got a great coach over here, and I feel like he's prepared in all aspects of the game to be ready for this type of game. So I know Cliff is going to have a great game plan ready for us, and he'll have us fired up for the game.
Has it been annoying or frustrating that people have said since y'all beat TCU you could go 7-0 and then the buck kind of stopped with Oklahoma?
Yeah. We try not to worry about what other people are saying outside of this building, and people don't. They've been having us on upset alert all year. So it's nothing new to us. We're going to go out there. We're not going to change what we do. We're going to work hard each day, get better each day, and prepare for this game. Doesn't matter who we're playing.
Do you take it personally?
Anytime you take a stab at my university, my players, anything like that, I definitely take it personally. Being that I bleed Texas Tech, I take everything to heart.
You guys are flying, really high right now, 7-0. How do you guys not get too up or too down and stay pretty even keel through everything that's going on right now?
Well, we haven't reached our goals yet. 7-0 is not our goal. Our goal is to win the Big 12 championship, and whenever we get that done, that's when we'll relax.
What have you noticed about the differences between Blake Bell and Trevor Knight?
Excuse me?
Blake Bell and Trevor Knight, do you notice any difference between the two? For each one?
I know Blake Bell, he's a more of a runner. I know he's going to be a bruiser. He's going to try to get some, them short yardage situations and stuff like that. He'll try to run the ball. So we definitely want to try to, take that away from him and get him to throw the ball a little more.
Real quick, talking about Jace Amaro, seeing plays like he made in West Virginia, Dragon Eagle, kind of how does that spark the defense for you guys?
It gets us excited, man. We see him down there making big time catches, making big time plays. It gets us fired up because we wasn't doing too well in the beginning of the game. Just seeing Jace with that fight and that fire, not willing to give it up. It just lit a fire to the defense, and we was able to stop the little spill we was having.
How do you feel about Oklahoma's your head-to-head matchups against some of their interior line?
I think they got a really good offensive line, a great core. I believe the center name is Gabe. I'm not really sure his full name, but he's a real great player, and I expect them, to come out and be physical, just like they always are. And they're a real good group of guys. I feel like we have a challenge this week. We have to get better on the D-line.
How much different do they look this year compared to last? Because they run the ball a lot more.
They're not going to change who they are. They all, OU, they're going to run the ball. They're going to try to hit us on some play action things and stuff like that. But, I don't really see too much of a difference. They kind of got some of the same type of guys there in the same positions.
Chris, I know you're never satisfied, obviously, but 10 tackles for loss, you're on pace for statistically do better this year than you did last year. How do you feel about your production so far?
I feel like I'm in a good spot right now, but like you said, I I've left a lot of plays out there on the field, I feel like, and I feel like I could have already hit my numbers already I hit last year. So, you know, I'm actually disappointed right now in my play so far, and I feel like I can do much better in the second part of the season.
What is the key to stopping OU's run?
We have it's a defense. We got to control the line of scrimmage. You know, we got to play technique and sound football. We can't get knocked out of gaps. We can't hit the blitz at the wrong hole or something like that. We got to be right on all facets of the defense.
What kind of unique challenge does Bell provide other than other quarterback because of his height and also his bulk?
Definitely got to gang tackle him. He's a big guy. He's not going to go down easy. And you know, we've been playing some smaller quarterbacks, you know, this past week. And I feel like he's going to challenge us in the run game, and you know, he'll be able to make some plays with his arm if we're not able to shut down one of them.
Have you been surprised that they passed as little as they have this year compared to, you know, last year was a runner and we were talking about passing, but it seems like they haven't really done it that much.
You know, different personnel. You know, they got Blake Bell back there, and he's more of a runner than he is a thrower. And past couple of years, they had like Landry Jones or somebody back there to throw the ball around. So I feel like, you know, they changed what they're good at. Right now, they're good at running the ball.
You know, as you guys bounce back from the early struggles of the game, let's talk about how you're able to finish so strongly in the fourth quarter and put the game away like you did.
It really goes to the leadership on the defense. You know, myself, Terrence Bullitt, Will Smith, and those guys, we understood we wasn't playing well up to that point, and you know, something needed to change. And you know, we bring the guys up and we let them know that this is not championship defense, and if we want to be a championship defense, we got to be able to make plays like this. We got to win games in these type of environments.
How much did conditioning play a part in that way that you guys were able to approach the fourth quarter? It seemed like you were fresh and able to go out and make the plays you needed to do.
Yeah, Coach Dennis, he has a great, you know, summer program, and you know, we was ready for the fourth quarter. We get better as the game goes on. We keep getting strong. The team is getting tired. We're playing against we're still fresh, you know. And that also goes to the depth we have. We have guys that can come in and give guys breaks and, you know, make sure we have those fresh legs in the fourth quarter.